Hello, everyone. Was that intro powerful enough for you? Were you nice and chilled like me for a moment there in the green room with Estelle, and then suddenly, dun, dun, dun. It's fairly full on, isn't it? Well, that's how we like to do things around here. Thank you for joining me. Wherever you are, whatever time it is for you guys. Listen, basically, I was chatting to Estelle at the MSP show recently, and basically we were talking about the upcoming event. And I said to Estelle, this sounds fantastic. And I work now with, we're a global brand, Salesbuildr, but we have, a concentration of partners in the Benelux region. And I was just thinking, I'm not sure if these guys fully know what CompTIA is all about. So we've got to spin up a LinkedIn Live. So that's what we're doing. That's why we're here. Let me introduce. So there's no better person to have on. Estelle, hello. I'm bringing you in. How are you?
Hello, James. Yes. Thank you so much for having me. I'm doing really well. This is just, as you said, we had this conversation. It was a rapid fire sort of like, this is a great idea. Let's do it. And now it's happening. I love it when a plan comes together. So thank you for having me.
No, it's great to have you on. It's been a little while since we've done something like this, so it's good. So let's get into the meat of it. The reason that we're doing this really is for, obviously, if there's anyone that's familiar with CompTIA, they might like to know a bit more about the agenda. But obviously, if you don't know about CompTIA and you really have no idea, why you should spend your time at these meetings, there's a lot of events out there right now, vying for your attention. Big brands, taking you to Vegas and all over the world, but actually, there's a real place for meetings like this. So, Estelle, first of all, perhaps you could just let me know a bit about your role, and then we'll dive straight into what makes these events different.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. So my role is I have a global role where I oversee and head up the communities that we have. So we are regional groups. We have North America, UK and I, the Benelux, the DACH region, ASEAN, as well as the ANZ region. So we are almost seems like habitual community creators at the moment. But the sole purpose of what we're trying to do is to get people together in a safe environment so that they can share information and really grow their personal as well as their professional development. Because as much as we all say there's, let's have a work-life balance, to be honest, you bring your whole self, right? It's not about this is my work, James, and this is my, at home, James. You're always thinking about what you're doing. So we want to build on that. We don't just look at the business acumen side of things, which is very, very important, but also on, your mental health, about stress, burnout, about how you can navigate yourself as a leader better, how you can navigate your team better. So we're just looking at the whole self, really leaning into what a community is all about.
Yeah, I really like that. And often, so I'm part of the EC in the UK, and often we'll be talking about, what should be on the agenda. And it's very easy for me to switch into sort of like big conference mode and just be like, okay, let's sell more. All you got to do is just build your business, grow it now, double your turnover, increase your profits. And actually what CompTIA does really well is giving more of a kind of a variety of content that does actually address not only different perspectives and things like mental health, things like diversity, but really kind of, to give you that kind of something quite different that you would need, not just for you, but also for your team. So, we're seeing more people come from not necessarily just business owners now, aren't we? We're seeing a bit of a mix of people joining these events from across the business.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would also say that, we aren't one of the big sort of massive industry, events out there. We're a trade association. And I think that we actually don't talk about that enough. We are here to help improve all businesses, say a high tide raises all boat. So what we're trying to do is really look at, business efficiencies. And again, it all resonates through the agenda, right? So if you're looking at business efficiencies, how we can learn from mistakes, how we can also look at our research and report. That's another thing that I think we don't sing our praises enough about, that we have really in-depth and very insightful research and reports that we have. And being a trade association is about doing good for all. And I think just having that badge, I think people should be just super proud to be associated with CompTIA, because we are vendor neutral. We are not there. There's no sponsorship. There's no endorsement. It genuinely is, if you've got something to share as a leader, and when I say leader, please don't think about that as sort of tenure. It is, you can be a leader because you want to give back. It doesn't matter how many years you are in the industry. So we're looking for young people. Just as an example, also we have a mentor-mentee program that is open to all our members, and they can get in touch, they can get in contact with us and be matched up with somebody that can give back, or you could be a mentor. So there's lots of programs out there. Again, it's all about the upliftment and the progress. We want all businesses and people to be successful, so that we have a sustainable and rewarding industry that we work in.
Yeah, I love that. There's so much to the membership, isn't there? That's probably a good thing to cover, actually, Estelle. So if you're thinking someone's watching this for the first time and they've heard about the A+, N+, and certifications, but don't necessarily know what the benefits are for, like a MSP. So you mentioned the mentorship program. What else is there? Obviously, they've got access to an incredible library of research and brandable reports. What else should people be aware of when they get a membership?
Oh, yes. I mean, the list of benefits is, there's so much there. I always, say it's, it depends. There's so much for so many of our members. We would like to give you a concierge service, where, there's so much out there, but you can go and pick what works for you at whatever, part of the continuum you're on. There's training, there are sprints, there are online educational pieces. You can also be on, if again, when we're talking about giving back, from our membership perspective, you can be a part of our Genius Cafe. Just a nod to the UK and I community there for getting that off the ground.
That's amazing, isn't it? That's
you can be a
yeah,
part
that's incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we have the UK, we have the Spotlight Awards. And that is also, again, the acknowledgement. So if you remember, you can participate in that. And that is acknowledging the amazing efforts, the accomplishments of our members. Again, a differentiator there is no pay to play, right? You can actually just be a part of that. You can bring your team. You can have a brilliant night out, and there's no charge to the member. So there are ways that you can get involved. It's also, there are ways to improve your business efficiencies. And there are certain things that are only available to our members. You're also talking about, I think we're the best kept secret, where people do see, oh, CompTIA, you're those certs guys, right?
You
certs
love that
people,
phrase, don't you, Estelle?
You do get a percentage.
That's like a...
I'm going to get a T-shirt.
I've been hearing this for years. Stop saying it. We're not anymore. We're working, definitely. We're working on the awareness piece for
as
sure.
a member, you get a percentage off, right? So if you, yeah. Yes, absolutely. So you get a percentage of your certification, but yes, an array of benefits that are out there for our members. I think also one of the things that we want to do is we want to make sure that our members are showcased for being a part of the trade association that is CompTIA. So there's an opportunity to be on stage, to mentor, to moderate, to facilitate. So there are lots of opportunities to get engaged. And I know that being a leader and being in front of people can also be outside of your comfort zone. I loved that one member said to me, one of the things that I would not have got anywhere else was I grew my confidence. CompTIA gave me the platform to be more confident.
Mm-hmm.
And it was being more confident, not only in getting on stage, validating his own ideas. He was an MSP owner, validating his ideas, but also being confident enough to go to his team and talk about his ideas and say, hey, I've had a bit of a discussion, a bit of peer-to-peer discussion. So he knows how to almost just, have a bit of a sounding board and then go to his team. So was more innovative by going through being a part of our membership. So yeah, that's one of my favorite ones.
That's lovely to hear. And I have to say, I kind of feel it too. I think in a very gentle way. I mean, you don't expect to be don't expect to turn up to your meeting and suddenly be put on the spot. But I think there's consistently opportunities put in front of you where if you want to go that little bit further, you can do, whether it's just leading a small group within a room or whether it's actually at some point getting on stage. I've worked with some MSPs who've gone on to pitch on stage to get onto the EC and talk. And there's so many opportunities there to do it. And I think a lot of people feel like actually, well, they've got that imposter syndrome, or I'm not quite the right fit, but that's absolutely not the case. And we've got a real mix. I mean, that's a good question, really. So who comes to these things then, would you say? So for someone totally fresh to it, who are they likely to find? What size of MSP? What type of job role would you find?
Yeah, I would say we really are open to any sort of stage that you are in your career, right? So with the MSPs that's running a 50 plus MSP, what we are trying to do is get a mixture of people together so that one could be sort of oh, I aspire to be like that MSP, because then we have people that are giving back. They're talking about their mistakes and saying, this was my journey, I would like to share that with you. And then we are, we're looking at this whole nurture program to make sure that it is a place for everyone to feel like they're learning and growing, but in different ways, right? It really is. I liken it to the gym, right? Like our membership is only going to be useful to you if you actually go in and put the work in. And yeah, like I said, the sizes vary. It is open to everyone, and the way we structure the agenda is so that everyone can find value and get something new out of it. I would also do a shout out to folks that have been in this industry for a long time and feel like they've sort of reached the pinnacle of what they're doing. This is also your opportunity to give back to the industry that has done so much for you. That's always like, and I've heard so many people say that's not my words, that those are words from other MSPs saying that's one of the main reasons I want to get involved, so that I can give back and I can open that door for someone else to be successful. It really is a heartwarming thing to hear, and we see it in real life. It's actually happening. This is not a made up community where people might say, oh, there's certain things that I might not get here. We genuinely are together to help each other, and I would say, come and see us, right? Come and hear what we have to say. Come and join our community meetings so that you can actually see that in action.
So how would you say, if someone was coming along to one of these events, what's the best way to get the most out of an event, do you think? Any tips?
Planning, number one. Yeah. So I would say plan ahead, right? I mean, who am I to say? I'm a bit of a fly by the seat of your pants kind of person sometimes.
Well, shame on you.
But I would say exactly like we are doing now, which is I would say take a look at the agenda, right? Plan it out and make sure that you bring the right people to the meeting. We have an array of sessions. There's networking opportunities. And I would say that, when people look at, can I afford the time to come out of, like, can I go to this meeting? I would say, think about, if you're not thinking about things from a different perspective or a growth strategy, could you afford not to, right? This is the time for you to work, take a step back from your business, really use this time to grow, like to grow as an individual, but talk to people, get some insights. Again, when we go through the agenda, there's a lot there. So I would say take some time to review the agenda. This is a great opportunity to do that. The other thing also is just to have a look at who.
Let's dive in there.
Yeah.
Sorry, Estelle. Is it, as you probably worked out, there's a slight delay on the line, so it's about 4 seconds. But anyway, I will just bring this up while you're talking, because this is a good example. There you go. You can actually see what's going on there. So okay, I can talk through this. So this is a typical of a community meeting. So we have other meetings as well. We have larger meetings, don't we? Do you want to talk about the sort of the structure of, if you become a CompTIA member, what can you expect in the way of events?
That is a great starting point, because we do have events, larger events where we have exhibition halls, and we have places where people can go in and do a bit of discovery on what's out in the market, what's going on there. And we have, the big keynote speakers that we might sometimes get celebrity status. I know, we can get some heavy hitters coming in to that are out of industry, like, for example, Louis Theroux, right? We had him come and speak. So out of industry, but gives you some insight on again, what's cool and
But that's
what's
in the
happening, and
econ,
also
right?
he's
That's normally a big one.
yeah, that's the big ones. Now the ones that we have that are region specific really leans into the whole community feel of it, right? So it's about, let's think about what's relevant to the region, what's top of mind, what are the pain points, what are the challenges and opportunities, and then how can we bring that community feel of looking at everything that you have to contend with as a business owner or as a professional IT executive. How can we help you? How can we help you progress? And then also we do try and get as many networking opportunities in there as possible. People often don't realize, for the meetings that we have that are regional meetings, we do actually ask you to add some extra time onto the agenda afterwards, up until about 7:30, 8 o'clock, because that's where the real networking happens, because you've gone through the day, the sessions are happening, and then you can actually digest and you can talk to other people. There's a layout of food, there's some drinks. It's a great way to decompress and just also get to know and build relationships with the folks that you have met at the meetings, and they can become friends for life. I will say that. Really amazing people that come to these meetings.
Yeah, I love that, and actually, I can definitely vouch for that. Being that, so the reason I'm here at Salesbuildr actually is because of one of the CompTIA meetings. So yeah, I met Leanne, who heads up the UK community there. That's been a pivotal connection, and also I met Victor, who's the founder of Salesbuildr, at a CompTIA event in Breda, and that was literally in just having coffee, wandering around, choosing my pastries, and so, oh hi, how you doing? And just got chatting, and the quality of the people in the room is brilliant. And in terms of, I wouldn't be out there giving life advice to people, but if there's one thing I would say that has really carried me in good stead for my career, it's 100% been that networking side. And as Estelle says, it's often it happens in the evenings, and there's never enough time. Even though it doesn't matter how long we make these gaps for lunch and for breaks and stuff, you always run out of time. So my tip would definitely be, and I'm sometimes guilty of not doing this, but is to, if you can, really try and do that bit afterwards. Try and actually stay for the extra hour, whatever it might be, rather than rushing off early. It's not always possible, but if you can, that's where you'll get a lot out of it. So we joke about it being the bar time, but it's actually, there's 100% good conversations happening there. So should we have a quick look at the agenda then, Estelle? I'm conscious we should be talking about the meat of this event in Utrecht.
Yes.
So this just gives a flavour, doesn't it, of the kind of content that you can expect. So this is a typical kind of structure of a community meeting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, and if anyone wonders how we sort of, put all the ingredients together to make bake the cake of an awesome regional community meeting, we have about 10 to 12 executive council members who make up and are a bit of a sample size of the community. So made up of our channel players, our MSPs, distributors, vendors, and we have associates as well. They get together and give us insight information on what is, again, looking at challenges, trends, opportunities in the industry, and what we should be focusing on that'll add the most value. And heading up that executive council for the Benelux community is Daniela and Stephen. So Daniela works for Sophos, Stephen for Tenesa. Well, he's the MSP owner there, and they head up as the chair and the vice chair of that executive council. So they'll actually give us a bit of an introduction about the community, but then also let us know why they're a part of the community. I think, again, again, bringing that human element into it is to, what brought them to be a part of this, what brought them to become leaders in the executive council, and then on top of that, put their hands up and go, I want to put myself forward to, be the chair and the vice chair. So that really is a level up to make sure that, you herd some cats and you make some decisions on how to move things forward. But yeah, they're steering this executive council.
That's cool. That's cool. And then after that, we've got the state of the channel. So we won't do the full report, but just to give people a flavour, the research department at CompTIA is pretty insane, isn't it? In terms of the sort of the quality, depth, and experience of the research team. So it's definitely worth, this is impartial views from a sort of a global perspective, but that's presumably there's a Benelux version. Excuse my ignorance on this. There's one for that region specifically.
No, there is. No, you've guessed correctly. And thank you for teeing that up. Yes. So we have the report, which is going to highlight market trends, the economic impact, technology adoption, also the channel dynamics. So this one is, for me, particularly interesting, where it's insights into dynamics of IT channel ecosystem in the Benelux, including the roles of vendors, distributors, MSPs, and system integrators, and really talk about how those relationships are evolving within response to the market demands. So insightful and important. Also, we'll touch on challenges and opportunities, as well as a future outlook. So it's something for everybody. There'll also be some best practices and case studies. Yeah. We've got Valerie for note. She will be delivering that. And Valerie, she owns her own business, a data-driven business. And so Valerie is also on the executive council. So she's been on our executive council for about 2 years now. And we are we're very pleased to have her on the executive council, because she also helps us in the DACH community, because she speaks German as well. So
handy.
I only, yeah, I know. So she's been absolutely great, really helping us with that. So yeah, I hope that gives you a bit more of an overview of.
That's cool.
Of
yeah, that's definitely. Channel. That's very good. And then, so of course, I mean, no meeting will be complete. I mean, although we try and have quite a diverse mix of content, there's always some cybersecurity stuff in there, being that it's kind of fairly top of the pile for most MSPs in terms of priority. So we've got none other than Moston Thomas from PAX 8. So incredibly well positioned to be able to talk about this. His keynotes: fires, finance, and freaking lessons from the past, and how to approach the future as an MSP. I hope he does better at delivering it than I just did that title. What any background on Moston you can share?
So Moston is, Moston's been a part of the CompTIA community for many years. And the amazing thing though, so Moston is a cybersecurity expert and senior director of security at PAX 8 EMEA. But the thing that, gives him even more kudos is that he was an MSP before, so he will be able to deliver the information and really make it palatable for the MSP. And he's not giving too much away, right? So I think it really is that you have to be in the room to know what he's going to talk about. So all we can do is big Moston up, of course, and say how amazing he is. But he basically is giving us, saying like, he's got 25 years of MSP channel background, and then he's going to be sort of diving into that, but also he's going to talk about historic events and common errors that IT providers make in approaching cybersecurity, and he's going to talk to us about that. So that's as much as he's giving away about that session. Yeah.
That's good. I like that. Keep it close to your chest, so you have to make sure you attend. That's great. So we've got a few minutes left to go through the schedule. So the great thing about, as I said, about these CompTIA events is that you get a mix of content. So we've got some sort of sets of mental health session and wellness, well-being. Would you say that one?
Yes, absolutely. Yep. Again, I'm fascinated by psychology, so I'm going to be there. I'm in it for just understanding how to navigate people. Like, how do we just get the most out of people? So, again, having somebody there that is a clinical psychologist is fascinating and terrifying at the same time. I think, again, we do need to tap into how we get the most out of people. What are their triggers? What's their love language, right? Because it is really a workforce at the moment. We always hear about that we're struggling to find the right people, and then we also know the statistics that not just finding people but retaining people is very, very important. So anything we can do to get a step ahead of that is fantastic. So I think definitely Anne's going to give us some key insights.
Fantastic. And we have a session on women in tech. So Valerie's on this one again, and we have Jennifer from Dutch Tech on Heels. What a great name that is.
Yes, and she's actually, right. She's the founder of Dutch Tech on Heels. And really the group is about promoting positive visibility for women. And that really is what we're trying to do as well, right? So I think we always say we're an and, not an or community. So we absolutely want to partner with other organizations that are, excuse the pun, walking the walk, right? The same as us, getting positive visibility out there for women.
Yeah, we have to give it a bit of a shout to Dutch Tech on Heels. It's actually an industry site. So when they're talking about insights there, so it's actually a publication for various different news articles and things from the space. So that's great. Okay, and then we have, of course, another one of these topics that's people. I don't know if people are tired of this yet or not, but I do know that Jamie is fantastic at delivering it. So I do know this is one that I would definitely have on my list. Did you know I was going to like this one? I'm so predictable.
I like it too, though. Like Jamie is he's like a no nonsense, and I love the fact that he speaks from the heart, right? He is an MSP. He's frustrated, and the frustration, and that's why he, started really just being all in, focused on AI and automation, was because of the frustrations that he had within his own MSP, and also he likes a challenge. He wants to go in and get some stuff done, right? So there you go. Yes.
Yeah, that's Jamie's site. So he lives and breathes the automation stuff. So he's definitely really well positioned to be talking about this. So definitely catch that one out. Okay, we've got a few minutes left then. So we've got this is one that obviously as our background is all about sales and automation and processes and all that kind of stuff. This is definitely one for me to geek out on. So Yannick from Melrocks. I don't know if you know, are you familiar with Yannick at all, or I'm not sure I haven't seen Yannick at an event before.
I have not. So yeah. No, again, so that and this is what we, the maturity of our community and the awareness that we have now, we are getting access to a lot of really insightful speakers. I'm very excited. Like Katrin, she is our Benelux and DACH community manager. She is really tapping into some awesome speakers over there. So shout out to Katrin as well for great job of building that out. We also have a group of executive council members that are highly connected, and we use them shamelessly. That's one of their jobs, right? They've got to connect us with some people as well. So there are influencers. So again, absolutely.
Fantastic.
So just a little bit about what.
It's a good one. Sorry, Estelle.
No worries. So what Yannick is going to cover, he's got skills-based and motivator-based mapping that we'll be talking about, aligning sales methodologies with sales process, and then team crafting and structuring. So that's just the highlights of what he's going to be covering in that session.
Love that. I can't wait to talk to Yannick. Yannick, if you're watching, definitely going to be getting in touch with you. That sounds like a really interesting organization, and that's going to be a good one not to miss. So we've really got a lovely mix there. And a closing keynote from Mark at Sophos, another sort of cybersecurity, and then I don't know, some other lady probably just be rambling on a bit.
Exactly. But who does not love fear? Who doesn't love a bit of ransom attack, putting the fear of God in you, right? So basically, Mark Lohman, he is the Vice President of Software Development. So we're very lucky to have him on the agenda. So he's going to be talking about.
Fantastic.
So he's going to be talking about being a good guy hacker. who really cares about keeping information safe. So I think he's coming across as being all nice and fluffy, but I think we will be thoroughly scared and petrified by the time we leave that session, right? So I think everyone will welcome the drinks afterwards, going, "Oh my goodness, I think they need a drink just to calm my nerves."
You have to pick up the pieces in your wrap up, so good luck with that.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's what we have on the agenda.
Brilliant. So you got a couple of hours of networking time built in there, which is really good to see. So if you can yes. Stay for that. Obviously, if you have any questions or you'd like to know more about CompTIA, you're more than welcome to get in touch with myself or Estelle. Obviously, Estelle's probably a better place, but certainly I'm at most of the UK and I events whenever I can be. So I'm more than happy to answer any questions or yeah, I mean, being part of the community is really just about sort of, making sure you're connecting people together as well. So if I can't help, then I'm sure I'll know someone who can. If you've got any sort of areas in particular that you'd like to know, or areas of specialty, or you'd like to just get involved and like to know more. Estelle, if somebody wants to be a new member, where's the best place to go to actually find out about it? Because we didn't even mention whether it's chargeable or not, or anything along those lines. So maybe we should just give people a bit of a call to action if they're interested.
Yeah, so if you go to our website, connect.comptia.org, you'll have membership information over there, and you should be signposted to fill out some information. For this community meeting, though, it is absolutely gratis, free of charge for you to come along to that meeting so that you can come and enjoy and see what we're all about. But if you would like to have any details about becoming a member, then we do have, if you go straight to our website, there will be information right there for you on our menu.
Excellent. What is I think it's fine to say, what's the current pricing at the moment for a CompTIA member? I'm putting you on the spot now.
Oh, well, so this is the thing we have. Yeah, so you are putting me on the spot right now because I don't want to quote the right price, but the wrong price. But I will say it's like under £300 per year.
It's a minimal investment. I forget it's based on turnover as well, so that was a bit unfair of me really to do that to you. So I can never remember. So I was kind of passing the buck a little bit.
MSPs are a flat rate, but it's definitely under £300. For vendors and distributors, that price fluctuates per revenue. But I always say, if you add up all the cups of coffee that you buy for the year, I bet you that would be more than your membership fee.
Yeah, given the value, all those the training courses you got access to, the materials you can white label, and the sort of content you can use, for your marketing team and the events and so on. And also you've got things like the obviously the ISAL is part of it as well, which is like a feed of a sort of security threat alerting. MJ would not be pleased with us. We've not mentioned ISAL once in our pitch. There's a fantastic thing called the ISAL community. And that's
it is actually
use a threat intelligence report.
I know.
Yeah. So we'll put a link in below.
Yeah, absolutely, so and that's all free. That is totally all free. Absolutely, and we can also put the the links to membership as well as the confirmed pricing that we have as well. And I will say in my very broken Dutch, julle zijn allemaal welkom om met ons meer te doen. So I just hope that everybody comes along, and that's just to say everybody's welcome to come along and join us.
Estelle, that is a lovely way to finish. Thank you so much for doing this with me. I really enjoyed it, and it's always fun to go through these events and see what's going on. I'm now even though I'd read the agenda, I'm actually way more pumped about this now, and the content that's in there. It's really, it's some good stuff. It really is, and it's free. Get along. What are you waiting for?
Very cool. I know, right? See you there.
Lovely. Thanks a lot, Estelle. Yeah, you take care.